Today is my first exploration of Brasov in the light. It looks quite impressive at night time. So let's go and see what it's got to offer during the day. Just around the corner from my hostel, there's a coffee shop that has over 250 reviews on Google Maps with a 5-star rating, which is practically unheard of. Literally every single review is 5-star. So that's my first call before I do exploring. I need coffee. So this is the place. It's called Book Coffee Shop, and I've got to say it deserves the 5-star rating it's got on Google Maps. Coffee was wonderful. The owner, I'm guessing he was the owner, was very friendly, and once we got over the formalities of the vaccination record check and everything, he sat me down, explained to me all about the coffees, where they come from, what tastes and flavours to expect, and free water. Came up and topped my water, even though I didn't really ask for it or anything. And he's open Christmas Day as well, so absolutely fantastic. Just around the corner from my hostel. 5 stars, absolutely. Book Coffee it's called, check it out. Just moving out of the main square, you come to the Black Church, which was called the Black Church because there was a great fire in Brasov and the smoke turned the brickwork black, and you can still see evidence of that to this day. This is caused by the smoke from the Great Fire. Now apparently you do have to pay to get in, which I'm not going to do. I've seen pictures online and it's no more special than any other church. I don't know why you have to pay to get in this one. Brasov really is a beautiful city. It's a great place to end up at Christmas. All of this is known as Catherine's Gate. In medieval times, Brasov was a walled city, a fortified city, and this was the only entrance from one part of the city to the other. You can see here how Brasov used to be in medieval times. So just here we have the synagogue, Beth Israel, and to the left we have a Jewish restaurant as well. So there must still be a Jewish population in Brasov. I've not actually done any research as to what happened here during the Holocaust and how many Jews lived here before. I did find one picture of Jews being forced to clear up the snow in the streets of Brasov. Whatever the numbers, the fact remains that there were a lot more Jews living in Brasov before the Holocaust than what there are now. Right now I'm stood outside something called Rope Street or String Street, which apparently is one of the narrowest streets in Europe. It was built to provide access to firefighters to get from one district to another. To be honest, I've been down narrower streets than this. The one in Prague with the traffic light system is definitely narrower, and there's also one in Amsterdam in the red light district which is also definitely narrower. Now it's completely covered in graffiti, and let's see how long it takes before we see a cock and bull. Oh well, look at that. Right on cue. Well, supposedly there are some windows on this street. There are 27 windows up and down the street, and they've all been turned into pieces of art. So let's have a look. I wouldn't exactly call them pieces of art. Sorry Brasov, but when it comes to street art you're going to have to up your game a little bit. Well, it's Christmas Day. By the time I upload this video, it'll probably be sometime in mid-April, so I hope you had a good Christmas, as best you could during these difficult, strange times. Now I had planned today to climb Tampa mountain and go up to the Brasov sign up there, but I don't know if I can be bothered. I had a pretty heavy night last night. I went out with an American girl from the hostel, and there was no curfew, which meant we could stay in the bar until whatever time, and we ended up staying out till about 2:30 this morning. Fair play to her, she'd already been out and had 5 or 6 drinks before she came out with me. I asked her if she fancied going out for a drink, and she said, yeah, I can go out for 1 beer, and then she was out all night. So and yeah, I'm thinking I don't really need to go up there to get a view over Brasov, because I've got a pretty decent view from here, to be honest, and I think up there I'll be too far away. So there is a cable car, in fact it is running, I can see them going, so maybe I might go up. I might take the cable car up there. That's something I could do today on this Christmas Day. I was fully expecting to have my first white Christmas in, well, years. I think I had one in Poland a few years ago, but I woke up today and the sun's out and there's no snow. There was snow yesterday. I bought myself another jacket to go on top of this jacket because it was very cold. I bought some gloves, and then I get up today and it's like a summer's day. So I'm sure the temperatures will drop again at some point. Surrounding the old town of Brasov are the remains of the fortification, and so you have these towers, and obviously that one was the White Tower, and down here this should lead me to the Black Tower. At the White Tower there was a map showing you the locations of the various towers that surround the city. On Google Maps I thought there was just 2, the White Tower and the Black Tower, but maybe there's more. So that could be a bit of an exploration for today. This is the Black Tower, which according to the information on the notice board, its walls are 2 meters thick. And what it does offer is the best view of the Black Church you're going to find in Brasov. Here we can see the remains of the old city wall. This is the Eternal Artella, which means the Arts Tower. And this used to be used as storage for powder. Doesn't say what kind of powder was kept in that. Just to my right hand side is the entrance to the cable cars, which will take me right to the top of Tampa mountain and up to the Brasov sign. You can walk it, it takes about an hour. You can see some people just setting off. I don't know if I can be bothered an hour of walking uphill, but then again I don't know if I'll have to queue for this cable car. Oh wow, it looks like there is a queue. Christmas Day! Bloody hell.
Wow, wow, very good.
As you can see, I made it up to the Brasov Hollywood style sign. It's bloody huge as well. I don't realise how big it is. I've climbed even higher than the Brasov sign, and now I'm right at the top of the Tampa mountain. Now in these mountains around here live half of all of Europe's brown bears. Approximately 4,000 bears live amongst these mountains. Now obviously a brown bear isn't something that I particularly want to bump into, so there are trails that lead into these mountains. I won't be doing them today. The bears will all be hibernating now for the winter, so they will be all well fed. So luckily they'll not be too hungry and come looking for unsuspecting tourists like me. And there we have old Brasov. You can see the old town where it all used to be walled. You've got the white tower and the black tower just there, and then the walls would come around here. Down the side. So that big circle there, that was the old walled medieval town of Brasov. You can see how much the city has spread since then. And up there is the ski resort, which I was going to head to, but I'm actually running out of time now in old Brasov. Let's see if I can make it back down without slipping and breaking my neck. I do have a handrail for this part, but then I'm on my own. It's very wet and slippy. I decided to get the cable car up, but to save myself a couple of quid, walk back down. Now, considering it's very slippy and icy, there's still bits of snow, and it's very slushy as well, might not have been the best idea. I've still got quite a way to go, but I've not fallen down yet, fingers crossed, and touch wood. Or as they say in Romania, tap wood. It's actually getting more difficult the lower I get. This is just basically ice, and there's nothing to grab hold of on here. I am definitely going to fall on this part. I'm slipping just standing still. Oh, why don't I just take the... See what I mean? Well, I made it. I nearly slipped about another dozen times, but nothing as dramatic as the one I caught on film. That was just horrible. There was nothing enjoyable about that at all. Here's some advice. If you come to Brasov or any other city and it's just been snowing, don't hike down the side of a mountain or a big hill.